something like this. So if you are at home, which I assume you all are, find a space where you can get, where you have some leg and arm range here, and you'll only need your mat. You won't need any other props. In the future, we may use some, but today we won't need any. We're using our own inner subtle muscles to come into these poses, all right? So today's class is building upon the fundamental principles of alignment, weight distribution, those basic poses that you've learned or are starting to learn, and movements, and we're bringing that all in, and now we're starting to bring that into a nice fluid movement with the breath and bring it into this nice place of harmony. So basic principles of alignment with fluidity by following your breath. All right? So if I haven't said it, my name is Sara. Thank you for joining me. We'll begin in a seated position. So if you would please find a comfortable seat, and I'd just like to take a moment. You don't have to sit the way that I'm sitting. When I say a comfortable seat, I really mean whatever's comfortable for you all. Crisscross applesauce. If it's preferable to you to sit up on your shins, you can do so. You also might roll up the back of your mat or maybe a towel or a blanket and put it right underneath the sit bones to help elevate the hips. And that'll help with tight hips especially. So for those of you at home, you're gonna be starting at the back of your mat. For filming purposes, I'm facing you all long edge of the mat. So hopefully you found your comfortable seat. Sit up nice and tall. Start to lean in toward your spine, drawing shoulder blades in and down the back. So notice your gaze. You want your gaze slightly uplifted, and then we're going to gently close the eyes. It's taking the backs of the hands and very lightly placing them either on the knees or on the thighs. So this is a very open and receptive hand gesture or hand mudra, and it's just a symbol of us being ready and willing to participate. So let's begin with a deep cleansing breath. Slowly breathe in through the nose and slowly release and exhale out of the mouth. Feel grounded down through your sit bones or shins if you're on your shins. Noticing length from tailbone all the way up through the back of the neck as you sit nice and tall. Start to draw your awareness down to your low belly, allowing the belly and ribs to expand and contract very naturally with your breath. As you notice your inhale, silently say to yourself, breathing in. As you notice your exhale, silently say, breathing out. This is the practice of naming your breath. As you inhale, you silently say, breathing in. As you exhale, silently say, breathing out. Just continuing this practice now and through the remainder of class. And as you notice you become distracted, your mind gets pulled in one direction or the other, just acknowledge that your attention has been pulled away and begin again. Bring your attention right back to your breath and start the practice once more. Breathing in, breathing out. So no need to get discouraged if you find it's hard to sustain this practice. It's called a practice for a reason. So do notice when you get distracted or your mind goes dull, and just redirect your attention right back to the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. With awareness on your breathing, gently open your eyes. Notice if your gaze is still lifted, and if not, go ahead and begin again. Lift the gaze now. Let's interlace the fingers right in front of us, and we'll take that movement with the breath. So as you breathe in, let your arms sweep up and overhead. As you exhale, bend at the elbows. Inhale, palms press up toward the sky. Exhaling down the center line. Let's do that one more time. Breathing in. Let the movement last the full length of the breath. Breathing out, bending at the elbows. Breathing in, palms press up. Breathing out, draw it down the center line. So see if you can sustain that awareness of breath as you now take your feet to one side of your hips or the other. And we'll just very mindfully begin to make our way into all fours. So let your fingers be spread wide, elbow creases turning in toward each other, and the tops of your feet are even pressing down into the mat. With an inhale, begin to round through your upper back. You're also drawing your low belly or your belly button in. Exhaling, sit bones float to the heels for Balasana. Inhale, lift from the low belly, come back up into all fours. Turn toes, and when you do this, y'all, you're coming just right to the toenail here, right at the tip of the big toe, and then you're pressing up and back into a nice downward dog. Inhale, shift back into all fours, tops of feet return to the mat, and round through the upper back. Exhaling, sit bones float to heels, Balasana, child's pose. So we'll take that sequence one more time. This is called Chakra Vikasana. Inhale, press up all fours. Brush the toe under, exhaling, pressing back into downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward and down into all fours, round the upper back. Exhaling, sit bones float to heels. Good. With an inhale, rise all fours. Exhaling, send your sit bones into downward facing dog. Pausing here, begin to pedal your feet, just bending deeply at one knee, deeply at the other. Maybe you get a nice stretch in the backs of the legs here. If not, that's okay. We're really just warming up our legs. All right. Come back to a static downward dog. Come high onto toes and bend the knees. Inhale, look up toward your hands. With an exhale, step up or walk into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Head hangs heavy and there's a softness in your knees. Inhale, lift from low belly, lead with the heart. Arms sweep out and up, coming into standing. Exhale, lower the arms. So bring your palms together right at heart center. Take another deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out of the mouth. Seeing your exhale as an opportunity to let go of anything that is no longer needed. As you return to the rhythm of your breathing, see how slowly you can breathe in and breathe out while still incorporating the practice of naming your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. If your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes, let your arms come down by your sides, and externally rotate your palms. With an inhale, follow your breath, sweep the arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hinge at your hip creases, soft bend in the knees, folding forward. Inhale, wave-like movement of the spine, lift up halfway. Exhaling, stepping left and right foot back into plank. Good. Fingers spread wide here. Come down onto knees, tops of feet to the mat. This is a modified mini vinyasa. All right, we'll come all the way down onto the belly. Create a slight rounding of the low back, and then you can lift the heart from the front of the spine. Bhujangasana. Inhale, turn toes, keep elbows in close. Exhale, press up all fours and back into downward facing dog. So again, what I just took you through, that little sequence there, is called a mini vinyasa. And I'll show you the full extent of a mini vinyasa, but that's the modified version. Okay? From your downward dog, come high to toes, bend at knees, and look up toward your hands. Exhaling, step or walk into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Head hangs heavy. Next, inhale, lift from low belly, lead with your heart to sweep arms out and up, and return to standing. Exhale, lower arms. Good, we're taking that once more with a lot of attention on your breathing. This is how we become fluid in our practice, by following the breath. So begin to externally rotate the palms. Wait for your inhale, and then as you start to inhale, you can start to sweep your arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hinging at the hip creases, folding forward. Inhale, wave-like movement, lengthen up and out of the waist. Exhaling, stepping back, plank. So now we're going into, if you are wanting to take this a little more advanced, our mini vinyasa. You can come down with straight legs, keeping elbows in close, all the way down to the belly for Bhujangasana. And you can take the full extent of Bhujangasana if that's available to you. Turn toes. This is also the full extent, letting the backs of your knees shine up toward the ceiling. Slight rounding of the low back. Exhale, press straight up into plank, and then back downward dog. Good. So that's another option for a mini vinyasa. From your downward dog, look up toward palms, come high to toes, bend at knees. Exhaling, step or walk, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Lift all the way back up into Tadasana as you lower your arms down by your sides. Coming back to your breath, externally rotate your palms. Taking that one more time, Sun Salutation A. Really set an intention now to stay with your breath. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, plank. Now following your breath, take any variation of a mini vinyasa. So you'll make your way down onto the belly. Coming into your stage of Cobra, Bhujangasana. And then as you're ready, pressing back and up into downward facing dog. Always good to take a nice deep breath. Inhale, come high to toes. Exhaling, making your way into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift from low belly, arms sweep out and up. Exhaling, lowering arms. If you haven't already, take a deep cleansing breath. Just bring your left palm over your heart, your right palm over your belly. Gently close your eyes with gaze uplifted. Notice the quality of your breathing. Notice how that first little portion of class may have shifted you, shifted your energy slightly. And maybe you feel nothing, and that's okay too. But it's this practice of tuning in to our inner landscape and noticing what's there, noticing what comes up. Maybe you're one that really doesn't feel like pushing through the practice today, and there's sort of a heaviness there, an energetic heaviness. Maybe you're the opposite and you're wanting to move quickly and push past, not really aware of the breath. Just notice your tendencies. This is a great, safe space to do so. So I encourage you to stay aware of what comes up for you when the practice becomes a little challenging. Come back to your breath. Gently open your eyes. Release your palms and let your arms come down by your sides, externally rotating the palms. With an inhale, we'll sweep the arms out and up, and at the same time, send your sit bones back as if someone's holding out a chair for you. The belly button draws way in toward the spine. Bring palms together. Exhale down the center line, forward fold. Inhale, wave-like movement, halfway lift. Exhaling, stepping back with your left foot, or left leg rather, into a high lunge, and then grounding down through the outer edge of your left foot. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up as you lift the torso. Lower body stays stable. Bring palms together. Exhaling down the center line. Hinge at that front hip crease. Bring the fingertips to the mat. Pivot on the ball of your back foot. High lunge. Then press into palms and step back plank. Mini vinyasa. So at any stage that's available to you. So you'll make your way onto the belly through cobra, and then make your way into downward facing dog. Pausing in downward dog for a full breath cycle. Bringing your awareness back to naming your breath. The next time you inhale, extend your left leg back behind you. With an exhale, step it up. High lunge. It's grounding down through the back foot. Inhale, arms sweep out and up, lift the torso. Warrior one. Nice and powerful here. Bring palms together. Exhaling down the center line. Pivot on the ball of your back foot. High lunge. Exhale, plank. Mini vinyasa following your breath. So come down. Bhujangasana, or cobra pose. Remember to create the slight rounding in your low back. Exhaling, pressing back up into downward facing dog. Once you're in downward dog, just look up high toward your hands and come high onto toes and bend at knees. As you exhale, make your way into a forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, lift from low belly, sweep arms out and up. Exhaling, lowering the arms. Take a cleansing breath. Cleansing breath is like hitting a restart button for your breathing. So if your breathing becomes really rapid or you've been holding your breath a bit, this is a great opportunity to hit that imaginary restart button. So let's take another cleansing breath in through the nose, out of the mouth, bringing your attention back to your breathing as we take Sun Salutation B one more time. Start to externally rotate your palms. Listen for your inhale and then sweep arms out and up. Send sit bones all the way back, just like you're sitting in a chair. Bring palms together. Exhale down the center line, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, stepping the right foot back this time into a high lunge and pivoting on your right foot, grounding down. With an inhale, sweep arms out and up. Bring palms together. Exhaling, draw down the center line. Palms return to the mat. Inhale, pivot, high lunge. Exhale, plank. Then follow your breath through a mini vinyasa. Coming down onto the belly, cobra pose. And pressing back up into downward facing dog. Take your time, follow your breath. That's the pace for your practice today. In downward dog, inhale, powerfully extend the right leg behind you. Exhaling, stepping it up, high lunge. Ground down through your back foot while you also extend and lengthen your spine. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Bring palms together, exhaling down the center line. Inhale, high lunge. Exhaling, stepping back plank. You guessed it, mini vinyasa. Through cobra pose, and then pressing back and up into downward facing dog. Once you're in downward dog, come high to toes, bend at knees. Exhaling, making your way into a forward fold at the top of the mat. With an inhale, bend at your knees, send your sit bones back, and lift the torso from the front of the spine while sweeping the arms next to the ears. Uttanasana, powerful pose. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Exhaling, lowering the arms. Bring palms together in front of the heart. And release a cleansing breath. Just taking a moment, closing your eyes, reconnecting with your breathing. If you lost awareness of the breath, begin again. Start right now, noticing the rise of your inhale and the fall of your exhale. And silently saying to yourself, breathing in, breathing out. If your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes and bring your arms down by your sides. Nice strong flow to start with. Go ahead and bring your hands right to your hips. And we're going to start to shift weight into our right leg. Now, very mindfully, lightly, you're not quite stepping back with your left leg, but you're extending through your left hip crease. So you're coming to the toes of your left foot. Then you can release your arms and sweep both arms next to the ears. Lots of energy out through the fingertips. Now sustain that nice, strong, standing leg as you exhale and hinge at your right hip crease. Become light on your left leg, coming forward about halfway into a variation of Warrior 3. Stay with your breath. Inhale, rise all the way back up, returning your left foot to meet the right. Strong legs, lower the arms. Take a cleansing breath. Return hands to hips. Other side, inhale, switch weight into your left leg. So before you even gently step back, you're activating that inner thigh. That's going to really help lift you up. You're also drawing your belly button in. So if you haven't already, go ahead and send your right toes back behind you, extending from the hip crease. Then you can release your arms and sweep them up by your ears. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, start to hinge at that left hip crease. Keep at least a micro bend in your front knee. So we want to avoid locking out the joints as you come into a variation of Warrior 3. Exhale, rise all the way back up into standing. Whoo, lower the arms. Another cleansing breath. Come back to the rhythm of your breathing. If your breathing feels really rapid here, take a moment, close your eyes. You can always place palms on your belly and practice slowing down your inhale and exhale, almost like you're breathing in and out through a straw. Taking little sips of air as you breathe in. Slow down the inhale. Breathe out. Slow down the exhale. If your eyes were closed, go ahead and open your eyes. And with an inhale, just begin to bring your hands right to your hips. Start to shift weight toward the left leg. And with an exhale, step back just about 3 to 4 feet with your right leg. Your back toes are going to be pointed toward the upper right corner of your mat. It's about a 45-degree angle. Hips are square, and our spine is nice and long. Notice your gaze. Continue to keep the gaze uplifted. If your right hand is still on your hip, go ahead and release your right hand. Externally rotate the palm and sweep the arm up next to the ear. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, hinge at your left hip crease. Really press into that back foot, the back heel. Let the back of the knee shine. As you come about halfway, pause here. Take a breath in. Then as you exhale, lift from low belly, come back up. Pause here. Take a breath in. Exhaling, folding halfway once again. So this is intense side stretch, and you want to continue this movement only moving on your exhale. So you'll pause each time to breathe in, think of lengthening your spine, then exhale to fold or to rise. Wherever you're at, let that be your last one. And as you come back up into standing, lower your right palm back to the hip. Come to the ball of the back foot, bend the knee, and step up. Tadasana, mountain pose. Take your palms together at heart center. Inhale. Start to separate the palms, pressing them out and away from the body, shoulder level. Exhaling, drawing the palms together right at heart center. Inhale, press the palms out and away, shoulder level. Exhaling, drawing the palms back to heart center. Pause here. If your eyes were closed, open them now. Let your gaze be lifted. Go ahead and bring your arms, or your hands rather, back to your hips as we take it to the other side. With an inhale, move weight into the right leg. Exhale, step back, just about a leg's length with the left leg. Hips are square. And you can release the left arm now, externally rotating the palm. With an inhale, sweep the arm next to the left ear. Notice length in your spine. Exhaling, hinging at the right hip crease. Come about halfway down and then pause here, taking a breath in. Draw the belly button in toward the spine. Breathing out, rise back up. Really press into that back heel. Breathing in. Breathing out. Dynamic, intense side stretch. Only moving on the exhale. So when you come back up, you're really shining the back of your left leg, or the back of your left knee, rather. You're really pressing into that left foot, and you're also lifting from your low belly. Wherever you're at, let this be your last one. As you rise back up into standing, lower your right arm, your left arm, to your left hip. Come to the ball of your left foot, bend the knee. Exhale, step up. Tadasana. Bring your palms together, heart center. Inhale, palms press out and away, shoulder level. Exhaling, drawing the palms back in toward heart center. Inhale, palms press out and away. Exhaling, drawing the palms back to center. Good. Lower arms down by the sides, externally rotating the palms. Stay aware of the rhythm of your breathing. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, plank. Make your way through a mini vinyasa at whatever stage is most available to you. So you'll make your way into cobra, and then eventually back into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Once you're in downward dog, feel nice and stable here. Fingers are spread wide. Feel a slight rounding in the low back. And begin to shift your weight into the left leg. As you exhale, extend the right leg powerfully out behind you. Bend the knee, and then begin to open up the left hip, almost like you're trying to send that right foot back behind you. Inhale, square the hips. Keep breathing, y'all. Lower the right leg. Move weight into the right leg and extend the left leg. Bend at the knee. With your breath, open up at the right hip. Continue to press back and away from the palms, but broaden through the upper back. Square the hips, lower the left leg. Inhale, shift forward and down into all fours. Go ahead and take it through a mini vinyasa. So coming straight onto the belly for cobra, and then pressing back into downward facing dog. Very good, very good. As you inhale, with a wave-like movement, shift forward into plank, and then come down into all fours. Tops of feet return to the mat. Fingers are spread nice and wide here, and your knees are slightly behind your hips. So the next time you inhale, we're going to start to move weight into our left shin and our left palm. And with an exhale, you're just going to extend the right leg back behind you. So you can start with a toe on the mat, and then you want to lift or extend from that right hip crease, lifting the foot off of the mat. Now really press into your right palm, and with an exhale, extend your left arm. Hold here, one breath cycle, breathing in, breathing out, lower down. Inhale, round through the upper back. Exhaling, draw your heart forward, cat's breath vinyasa. One more time, inhale, round. Exhaling, heart draws forward. Come back to a neutral spine, taking it to the opposite side. Start to move weight into your right shin, the right top of the foot. Exhale, extend through your left hip crease as you extend that left leg, and then lift it up and off of the mat. Spread your left fingers wide and lift the right arm. So opposite leg, opposite arm. Hold for a breath cycle. And then as you exhale, you can very gently release. Cat's breath vinyasa. Inhale, round through the upper back. Exhaling, heart shines forward. This time, as you round through the upper back, on an exhale, just let your sit bones float back toward your heels for child's pose, Balasana. On an inhale, rise up all fours. Come back to your nice, sturdy all fours position. Press into your left palm and extend your, let's do something different here. Take your right palm and bring it to your low belly. So we're going to learn about staging into a twist. Now, as you inhale, you want to think length through the spine. As you exhale, twist to the right from the low belly. Draw your palm to low ribs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist from low ribs. Palm moves to your heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twisting open from the heart and extending your right arm up toward the sky. With an exhale, unwind and thread your right arm underneath the left just at a hover. Inhale, twist and open back up to the right. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling, threading the arm underneath the left. Once more, stay with your breath. Inhale, opening. Exhaling, threading the arm through. And this time, go ahead and come to rest on your right shoulder and on the right side of your head. Really settling into the pose. Take care that even in this position, you're not dropping through the low belly, and rather you're drawing the belly button in and up toward the spine. Left arm can stay on the mat, or it's optional. You can lift it and extend it toward the sky. Holding here for one more breath cycle. Come back to naming your breath. Release your left palm if it was lifted. On an exhale, press into the left palm. Come back into all fours. Cat's breath vinyasa. Inhale, round. Exhaling, heart shines forward. Inhale, round. Exhaling, heart shines forward. Come back to a neutral spine. Press into your right palm. So now that you know where we're going with this, you're welcome to take your left palm to low belly and take that 3-part twist in stages to the left. Otherwise, you can simply extend the left arm out. Take the 3-part twist to the left, extending the arm up toward the sky. With an exhale, begin to thread it underneath the right, just at a hover. Inhale, open up to the left. Press into the tops of the feet. Exhaling, threading the arm through. Once more, breathing in. Breathing out. Thread the arm all the way through and come to rest on the left shoulder, left side of the head. Optional here to lift your right arm and let it extend toward the sky. Coming back to full, steady breathing. Anytime we pause, it's a really great opportunity to come back to your breathing. Slowing down your inhale, gradually slowing down your exhale. If your right arm is lifted, take it down to the mat. With an exhale, press into the palm, come back into all fours. Cat's breath vinyasa. Inhale, round the upper back. Exhaling, shoulder blades draw in and down the back. Heart shines forward. Once more, inhale, round the upper back. Exhaling, heart shines forward. Come back to a neutral spine. Barely brush the big toes under, and then press back and up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. If you're pausing here, because we're going to hold here for a couple of breath cycles, if you feel like, oh my goodness, my arms are hurting, it's usually an indication that you're stretching way out and away from your hands. Although you want to move away from your palms, you want to broaden your shoulders, broaden your upper back, create even a little bit more of a bend in the knees, and press down through your heels, even if they're not touching the mat. This will help distribute weight in a way that allows you to hold the pose longer. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. As you inhale, come high to toes, bend at knees. Exhaling, stepping or walking to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Let your head hang heavy here for a moment. Bend at the knees even more here. Let your torso lay out over your thighs. And begin to lift your palms, interlacing fingers at the low back. As you inhale, take a wave-like movement of the spine. So that means your low belly lifts, middle of the back lifts, upper back lifts, and you lift the head to completely straighten the spine. With an exhale, hinge deeply at your hip creases, returning into a forward fold.
lifting your arms out and away from the back, if that's available to you. If it isn't, no worries. These are all suggestions. You can simply pause at a stage that allows you to breathe really well. If your hands are lifted, bring them to the low back and return them to the mat. With an inhale, lift from low belly, lead with the heart, sweep arms out and up. Exhaling, lowering arms and taking a cleansing breath. Releasing anything that is no longer needed. Let your palms come to your hips. With an inhale, move weight into the right leg. Exhale, take a wide quarter turn to the left. So your left toes will be pointing toward the long edge of your mat, right toes toward the top of your mat. Begin to bend at the right knee, and at the same time, you're letting the back of your left knee shine. So laser-like here. So we're trying to avoid sinking all of our weight down into that front knee. So you want to bring your front thigh as parallel to the mat as possible. And I know it sounds funny, but the wider your stance, I find it's a little easier. Don't quote me on that. Once you come into a nice stable lower body, extend your arms out, shoulder level. Just turn your head to glance out over right fingertips for Veerabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. On your next exhale, hinge at your right hip crease. Bring your forearm to the thigh, or for advanced yogis, all the way down to the mat. Left arm sweeps so the bicep is right next to the ear. Extended side angle. Inhale, lift from low belly, come back to Warrior 2. Exhale, hinge forward, any variation of extended side angle. Inhale, come back, Warrior 2. Exhaling, windmill your arms around to either side of the front foot. Pivot on the back foot, high lunge, step back plank, follow your breath, mini vinyasa. Help yourself back into downward facing dog. Staying with the rhythm of your breathing, that is the pace for your practice today. In downward dog, come high to toes, bend at knees. Exhaling to step, jump, or walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. With an inhale, lift from low belly, sweep arms out and up. Exhaling, lowering the arms by the sides. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Let's take one more. And on that exhale, let it be a symbol of letting go of anything you're not needing at this moment. Letting go of anything that is not benefiting you in this moment. If your eyes are closed, gently open your eyes. Return hands to hips. On an inhale, shift weight right. Exhaling, another wide quarter turn to the left. This time, we're going to pivot the right toes in toward the long edge of the mat, left toes toward the back of the mat, and take care that you have a pretty wide stance here. So if you need to make an adjustment, adjust your right leg, heel to toe, okay? Then start to bend at your left knee without dropping weight into your left knee. So if you're dropping weight, you're most likely shifting forward with your knee. So you kind of want to pull back at the same time. Once you find a nice stable lower body with knee bent, extend the arms out shoulder level, gazing out over left fingertips. Very powerful here. Breathing in. Breathing out, hinge forward from the left hip crease. Any variation of extended side angle, so left arm to forearm to thigh, or fingertips to the mat. Right arm extends next to the ear. Inhale, rise back up, Warrior 2. Exhaling, extended side angle. Lower left arm, right arm sweeps. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhaling, windmill your arms around to either side of your left foot. Pivot on the ball of your right foot, high lunge to the back of your mat. Step back plank. Take your variation of a mini vinyasa, and you'll make your way into downward facing dog. Once in downward dog, come high to toes, bend at knees, exhaling to make your way into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Let your head hang heavy and create a little bit more of a bend in the knees than you'd normally have here. And we'll begin to interlace our fingers at the low back. So as you inhale, remember that wave-like movement of the spine. So the low back lifts, middle back, upper back, and finally the head. This is what I call lengthening up and out of the waist. Exhale, hinge at the hip creases. Fold forward. Let your palms lift up and away from the back if that's available. So, side note here, for those of you who happen to be hypermobile in your shoulders like I am, does not necessarily mean that you need to let your shoulders go just because you can go further. You will over time injure your shoulders. So please continue to draw your shoulder blades in and down the back, even as you're folded here. If your palms are lifted, go ahead and slowly bring them back down to the sacrum, then down to the mat. As you inhale, sweep arms out and up, rise into standing. Exhale, lower the arms. Bring your left palm over your heart, right palm over low belly. See how slowly you can breathe in through the nose and how slowly you can release and exhale out of the mouth. Just breathing in and out through the nose now. As you bring your attention to the quality of your breathing, as you bring your attention to your inner experience. It's noticing if you're able to maintain the practice of naming your breath. Just bringing to mind if you notice any tendencies as the sequence becomes a little challenging for you. And it's nothing to have a conversation around. You just want to notice. Just observe. And back to full, steady breathing. And gently open the eyes. Notice your gaze lifted slightly above eye level and release your arms down by the sides. With an inhale, sweep arms out and up. Bring palms together up and overhead. Exhaling, draw the palms down the center line. One more time. Inhale, arms sweep down, out, and up. Palms together, exhaling down the center line. You know what? Let's do that one more time. It feels pretty good, syncing movement with breath. Inhale, just at your own pace. Palms come together, exhaling down the center line. Well done. Release your palms and bring the hands to the hips. As you inhale, shift weight left. As you exhale, take a wide quarter turn to the right. So go ahead and pivot both feet in so that toes are facing the long edge of the mat. And you want a pretty wide stance here. Interlace your fingers at the low back. And if you can kind of feel your interlaced fingers at your sacrum, think of slightly drawing the low back into those fingers or into those palms. All right, so our belly button draws in. Inhale, notice length along the spine. Exhaling, hinging forward right at the hip creases. Try to keep the hips nice and steady. So notice if you kind of rock back and forth here. As you come down into your fold, you can release palms down to the mat, coming into the full expression of the fold for you today. And just notice, where is the weight mostly? Is it toward the balls of your feet, or more toward the heels of the feet, or do you feel fairly evenly distributed along the soles of the feet? So, making any adjustments needed, and what I mean by that is if you're way on the balls of your feet, well, then you gently draw back into the heels, and vice versa if you have weight in the heels. With an inhale, wave-like movement of the spine, come up about halfway. Take your left palm and press it down into the mat directly below heart center. Now your right palm is going to come to your low belly as we take that 3-part twist to the right. So each time you inhale, you're thinking length along the spine. Each time you exhale, you twist from one of the 3 areas, low belly, low ribs, and then the area of the heart. Optional when you come into the twist to extend your right arm out. Don't come into this full expression until you're sure your low body is steady, your hips are square, so you're really squeezing in toward the midline with your inner thighs, and your chin stays right in line with your sternum. Take another breath in. Exhale, slowly unwind, forward fold. Inhale, wave-like movement halfway as we take it to the other side. So draw your right palm onto the mat directly below midline. Left palm comes to low belly. 3-part twist toward the left this time. Go at your own pace. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, twist. Even if your spine is not lengthening anymore, that's okay. You want to visualize length along the spine and visualize twisting even more, even if it's not physically happening. Stay steady with your breathing as well as your lower body. Slowly begin to unwind. Fold all the way forward. As you're folding forward, on an inhale, come up about halfway. Pretend like your sit bones are glued to a wall behind you. So they're not going to move, okay? It's like your entire lower body is stuck in cement. Let's say that. Now, you're going to walk your hands out in front of you, only as far as they're able to go here. And then let your torso, head, and neck really sink down toward the mat. And you won't have to do much physically there. Gravity will help you out here, drawing your torso, head, and neck down toward the mat. So this is essentially a wide-legged downward dog. Coming back to your breath. Notice if you've lost awareness on your breathing, and without any conversation, simply begin again. Breathing in, breathing out. Lift up slightly so you create enough space to walk your hands back. Pivot from heel to toe and just shorten your stance slightly. Then walk your hands over to your right foot. Take a side lunge as you bend at the right knee. Pivot on the heel of your right foot and the ball of your left foot, coming into a high lunge facing the front of your mat. Exhale, step up with the left leg into forward fold. Letting your head hang heavy for a moment. Bend a little bit more at the knees here, and just begin to very gently shake your head yes, and shake your head no. Slowing down those movements. As you inhale, lift from low belly, lead with the heart, sweep arms out and up, returning to standing. Exhale, lower the arms. Bring palms together. Take a deep, cleansing breath. Very good. Go ahead and bring your palms to your hips. With an inhale, move weight into your left leg. Exhaling, stepping back about a leg's length into, or we'll be coming into, intense side stretch. So if I have not said it already, which I don't think I have, if you found the first time that we did this pose, hinging at the hip crease, that your hips are really tight and it's kind of difficult for you to fold all the way into the fold here, then you'll want to, as you're standing like this upright, take your right leg and step it out a little more laterally, so a little more toward the long edge of your mat. And this creates a little bit of a wider stance and makes it a little bit easier on the hips as you're folding. So for the purposes of the filming, I'm going to go ahead and take this modification, or this variation rather, step the foot out. Go ahead and release your right arm and bring it down by your side. Notice length along your spine as you square off your hips toward the front of the mat. Inhale, right arm sweeps. Exhaling, hinging at the left hip crease, folding forward. Press into your back foot. Really let the back of the right knee shine. Right palm comes to inner thigh or to the inner shin, or all the way to the mat. Left palm, this is optional to bring your left palm to low belly. If you're getting the hang of that 3-part twist, go ahead and follow your breath, twisting toward the left. So with each inhale, you're lengthening the spine. Each exhale, you're twisting, coming into revolved triangle. Optional to extend your left arm up toward the sky. Stay with a breath. You're only staying at a stage that is available to you today. Exhale, unwind. Keeping your hips square, fold directly over the left leg. Getting a nice deep stretch right in the back of that left leg. Now stay with me here. Really breathe deeply. Start to lightly bend at the front knee. You'll come onto the ball of your right foot and you'll start to walk your fingertips out in front of you. With an exhale, begin to lift that right leg up and away from the mat as you really activate your inner thighs, drawing in toward midline and even drawing up and out of your waist. This is a variation on Warrior 3. With an exhale, lower your right foot to meet the left. Whoo, powerful. Fold all the way forward. Inhale, sweep arms out and up. Come back into standing. Exhale, lower your arms, and then bring palms right to the heart. As you inhale, sweep arms out and up. Bring palms together overhead. Exhaling, draw it down the center line. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Palms together. Exhaling, down the center line. Return hands to hips. Taking it to the other side. So before you move, let go of that experience that you just had. All right? Let it go. It's in the past. It doesn't exist anymore. We're right here in the present. And we're going to begin again, starting with a breath. Breathing in, move weight into your right leg. Breathing out, step back about a leg's length with the left foot. Hips are square. Release your left arm. Externally rotate and sweep the arm next to the ear. Nice and tall here. Feel length in your spine as you breathe in. Exhaling, beginning to hinge forward, coming about halfway. Lower your left arm to inner thigh, shin, or fingertips to the mat. Optional to bring your right palm to low belly for the 3-part twist, this time to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Taking your time because you're following your breath. As you come into the full extent of revolved triangle, it's optional to extend your right arm up toward the sky. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Exhale, unwind. Keep the hips square and fold directly over the right leg. So take care if you notice that you try to, oftentimes we feel tired on our right leg, so we want to take the weight off of it and we shift back into the left hip. If you see what I'm doing here, this is not what we're trying to do because we're essentially opening up at the right hip. We want to keep the hips closed so we get the most out of our stretch as we fold over that right leg. Now keep your breathing full and steady. Take this in stages and stop at a stage that is most available to you. Begin to lightly bend at the front knee as you come to the ball of your back foot. Lightly walking fingertips forward. Activate your inner thighs and lift that leg up, out and away. Lots of energy through the back of your left leg and even out through the toes. So variation on Veerabhadrasana 3, Warrior 3. On an exhale, lower your right leg down to the mat. Fold over both legs, Uttanasana, forward fold. On an inhale, lift from low belly, lead with the heart, sweep arms out and up. As you exhale, dive right back down into your forward fold. With an inhale, wave-like movement, lengthen the spine. Exhaling, stepping back into downward facing dog. Keep the breath steady. Inhale, shift forward and down into all fours. Exhaling, sit bones float back to the heels. Inhale, rise all fours. Exhaling, walking your hands back and swinging your feet around to one side of your hips or the other. So just extend your legs out, the full length of the mat, nice and long. Sit up nice and high on your sit bones. If you started with rolling up the back of your mat, or you have a towel or a little blanket, you can get that now for these seated poses, okay? And that'll help elevate the hips. Otherwise, go ahead and come into a nice tall sitting position, legs extended. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Lift up and out of your waist. So I know it looks like just sitting, but this can be a very powerful pose. We're trying to create space from our pelvic floor right below the belly button. And you do that by practicing this lifting up and out of yourself. Otherwise, over time, as years go by, we'll start to sink, 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 and become kind of hunched over. So we want to avoid that. Lift up and out of the waist. Go ahead and bend at your left knee. And then let gravity draw the knee out toward the side, bringing the sole of the foot toward the inner right thigh. With an exhale, hinge at the hip crease. You can lightly walk your fingertips forward as you fold. Just take care that you continue to lift up and out of the waist, keeping a straight spine, and drawing the shoulder blades in and down the back. Notice your gaze. Oftentimes when we fold forward, our gaze goes straight down to the mat. Your head may be facing down, but lift your gaze about 2 to 3 feet out in front of you. Inhale, lift from low belly. Draw the knee in towards center and extend the left leg. Return to your Dandasana staff pose. Shoulder blades in and down the back, fingertips right by the hips, and lifting the belly up and out. So we're lifting up and out of the waist. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. So you need to be able to sustain a pose like this in order to move forward and progress into other poses, such as Janu Shirshasana, which we're about to do on the other side. Go ahead and bend your knee. Take the sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. And as you begin to exhale again, lightly walk your fingertips forward, hinging from your left hip crease, not the waist. So we're lifting up and out of the waist. Micro bend in that front knee. Stay with your breathing. Once you come into the full extent of the fold for you, you immediately direct your attention back to your breathing. So you're silently saying, breathing in, breathing out. Just letting this be your only internal dialogue. Inhale, lift from low belly. Come all the way back up to center. Draw your right knee in and extend the leg out. Pause here for one more breath cycle as you continue to lift up and out of the waist. It's very much a wave-like movement. So if you can even take a moment, look up at the camera. And if you can see me here, so here I'm slumped over. Now it's a wave-like movement of my spine when I lift up and out of the waist. So it goes low back, middle back, upper back. They all extend, and finally the chin draws in. So in a vinyasa or a flow class, eventually, as you become a little more advanced, you learn it's not just about physically flowing. You're also thinking about this energetic flow internally. This wave-like movement of breath or prana, wave-like movement of the spine, and staying steady with your breathing. Good. Exhale, hinge at that hip crease. See if you're folding over both legs. See if you can maintain that visualization, or maybe you can even sense it, that wave-like movement, that continuous flow of energy and of breath in the body. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, folding. So even if you're not doing it physically, you've come to the full extent. You're visualizing. Inhale, lengthening. Exhaling, folding deeper. On your next inhale, lift from low belly. Come back to center. Bend at the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And take your hands behind your hips. If you're not already halfway down your mat, go ahead and make your way there. And mindfully come onto your back. So when I say mindfully, use your forearms, use your elbows. Be very gentle with yourself as you lower down onto your back. Excuse me here for a moment while I adjust the mic. Okay. And just pause here. Let your knees be bent. Just placing your palms on low belly. Connecting with the rise of the belly as you inhale, and the fall of the belly as you exhale. This is that wave-like movement of breath that I'm referring to. Inhale, belly softly rises. Exhale, belly softly falls. So this is just something that you're noticing, okay? This isn't something that you're trying to make happen. It's noticing the wave-like movement of breath. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. Let's release your palms from low belly and let your arms come out shoulder level, palms facing down. Draw your knees into your chest and keep your feet flexed and active. As you exhale, twist to the right from the low belly, letting your knees come down to a hover or letting them come up more toward center, more toward midline if you need more space to breathe. So once you come into your reclined spinal twist, take care that your upper back is pressing into the mat. That's how we ensure the twist is from the low belly. And then it's optional to turn your head to the left, either with eyes closed or gazing out over left fingertips. On your next inhale, draw your knees back to center, head returns back to center. Exhaling, twisting to the left from low belly. So your upper back does not move, and you're drawing your knees in and up as if you're trying to touch your left underarm. So it's, in a sense, the same kind of sensation you'd get from a reverse crunch, but with a twist. Optional here. Turn your head to the right. It's taking the twist all the way up into the cervical spine and coming back to your breathing. As you inhale, draw everything back to center. Just pausing here. Place your palms on your knees, or actually go ahead and place them right on your thighs. They're not going to do anything. They're just resting on your thighs, okay? Now continue to draw your low back down toward the mat. And as you inhale, just lightly send your knees away from the body. As you exhale, lightly draw the knees back in. Inhale, knees gently press away. Continue to draw the low back to the mat. Exhale, knees gently draw back in. Just taking Uttanasana one more time. Inhale, knees pressing away. Exhaling, knees drawing back in. This is a good, gentle movement right before bed, too. So I recommend everyone try that tonight. I know everyone's going to go home now and try that. Go ahead and bring your feet to the mat. So we'll be coming into the last pose of class called Shavasana. And at this point, if you have any discomfort in your low back, you'll want to step your feet out wide and just let your knees fall in toward each other. And this will take some of that pressure off. Otherwise, if there isn't any kind of issues you're working with today, then simply extend your legs out the full length of the mat. Just lifting slightly up off of your upper back so that you can draw your shoulder blades in and down the back, and then lower back down. Arms come down to sides. Let your palms face up. And as they turn up, just notice a softness in the center of your palms. Maybe even notice your fingers gently curl in. Even the bottoms of your feet, sensing a softness there. And letting your feet just kind of naturally fall out to the sides. Just drawing your awareness up the length of your legs. Noticing any areas where you're holding tension, and allow those areas to release and to relax into the mat. Notice your pelvic bone, the area of the hips, lower back, lower belly, all begin to release and relax. Relaxing your abdomen, the length of your spine, even the chest releases and relaxes. Let your awareness travel down the length of your arms. As you notice tension, allow these areas to let go and soften. Tops of shoulders, sides of the neck, even the throat, all soften. Relaxing your jaw as you let your teeth slightly part behind closed lips. Noticing the outer corners of your eyes and letting those spaces release, relax. And lastly, bringing your attention to that little butterfly muscle in between your brows and allowing that space to release and to relax. If your eyes are not already closed, gently close your eyes, letting your eyes settle into their sockets. It's even letting your eyes release and relax. As you release the practice of naming your breath, and you come back to normal breathing. Just noticing how breath effortlessly draws in through the nose and back out of the nose. Let your awareness simply rest at your low belly, connecting with a wave-like movement of your breathing. If you notice that your mind is still quite chaotic and turbid, then I invite you to bring in either your own personal mantra or affirmation, or you can borrow mine by silently saying, I am all right now. I am all right now. Just allowing yourself the next minute or two to really be in this space, in this place of stillness. If your mind tries to jump into the future or revisit the past, simply begin again, relaxing the body, relaxing the mind, and silently saying, I am all right now. Just keeping your eyes closed, bring your awareness back into your body without moving anything just yet. Nothing physical needs to happen just yet. Simply bring your awareness back into your body, back into this space. And as you fully arrive once again on your mat, noticing yourself laying secure, laying safe here on the ground beneath you, you can now begin to mindfully bring back in movement. So start by wiggling toes and fingers, and begin to rotate ankles and wrists, staying very mindful of how you awaken the body. Taking your head over to one side, over to the other, bending at the elbows, Extending arms up and overhead as you reach through fingertips and reach through toes at the same time. Nice big stretch. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale and let it all come back to center. Bending at the knees if you haven't already. Gently draw your knees into the chest and lightly place your palms on knees or on the shins, taking a little cradle rock from side to side. This is just a sweet massage for your lower back. And then following this movement, roll all the way over onto the right side of your body, pausing here with your left palm on the mat. Reconnect with your breathing. And as you feel yourself exhale, press into your left palm and help yourself up and around to the most comfortable seated position for you. As you sit up nice and tall, keep eyes closed, and draw palms together right at heart center. So please join me as we take one last deep cleansing breath. Breathing in slowly through the nose. Releasing an exhale out of the mouth. And deepest gratitude for your presence here today. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you move into the rest of your day, the rest of your week, may you be peaceful, may you be happy, and may you be at ease. Namaste.